Hi, everyone. I'm Marie, and it's very nice to meet those who we haven't met before. I'd like to welcome you all to our very first Table Talk Zoom story call. So, thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. I was thinking life is a story, isn't it? We're always telling stories, we've got our own story, and it's stories that makes the world go around. Well, I've asked some very special women to join me today on this call. You know what? They're just so fun. They have such passion, such wisdom and knowledge, the kindest of hearts. And when we can bring people together to create a community and then go out and make a difference, this is how we can change lives and make an impact. So very, very excited for today. The ladies are doing great things. One disclaimer before we get started: we cannot make any claims to cure, treat, mitigate, heal any diseases. Only pharmaceuticals can do that. But after you hear these ladies' personal experiences, I think you'll really understand why we've come together. I think you'll agree we've been given amazing opportunity. LifeVantage is a phenomenal vehicle. It can be anything you want it to be, with such enormous potential to go out and help people and animals. And if there was ever time that people want what we have, it's today, right? So again, thank you for joining us. I'm going to bring my first guest, the most loveliest of ladies, Faye Rogers. And Faye, she's world-renowned. She's an animal communicator, and I just love that. And Faye had a little inside help, a little inside knowledge before any of us. So Faye, if you could just share, please, what you've, just whatever you like.
Thank you, Marie, for bringing this together. It's such a delight to be here, and I'm a little bit excited, so I'll try to tone it down. Okay, animals have been sharing with me for all my life, but about, I'm going to say 7 or 8 years ago, because I've been involved with LifeVantage just on a year now, and they started sharing that they needed NERF, and I would spell it NERF. And anyway, I could never find a homeopath, naturopath, herbalist, and anyway, I'd ask them to share something else because it was just so impossible, and then I'd send their messages on to people. It also would come up when I did soul journey work with people, because I do work with people too, that they needed this. And then it all sort of just all happened for me. It's always about timing, about when things do happen. And so June last year, I thought, oh my gosh, Jen, who runs the Minnehaha Horse Sanctuary here, I thought that's the product. So I asked her if I could get some for my donkey thistle, and it started from there. My donkey's coming up about 40 years old. And so I sent away we had to get the products from USA then. So I sent away, and I had 3 bottles turn up, and they turned up, I'm not joking, within 5 days. And so anyway, they turned up on the Friday. I actually got the flu on the Monday and started feeling a bit seedy. I did 1 client session. I thought, no, I've got to stop working. And then that evening, I thought, I'm going to go and take some of Thistle's tablets. And honest, my health, had been fragile for quite a while. And all of a sudden, I had more energy after being on the tablets about 3 or 4 days than I had for at least a year. I still got sick, but I didn't get really chronically sick. It was a nasty, nasty flu going around. Or virus. They said it was a flu, so I'll go with that. And and so I was actually up and running within 3 days of after taking the tablets, which is incredible, with no, ongoing symptoms that you normally get, which you might have for, weeks and weeks after having the flu. So I was just so blessed. And then everything seems to steamroll from there. And I just thought, oh my gosh, it's always timing. And I started sharing with others and telling them, I finally it's here. I found it. and I was so passionate. And then I asked Jen about, like, maybe I could become a distributor. I had no idea about multi-level marketing. I plunged in. It was just so right for me, and it's just been created. I'm going to say it's been created since then, and it's just built and built and built. And I've met the most amazing people. I've helped. I shouldn't say I've helped, but the Protandem has helped so many animals and so many people, and so many. I haven't got words for it. I'll probably start crying, but when you have tried every avenue, or a human's tried every avenue with their beautiful family pet, and they're doing the vets suggestions, they're doing holistic, and then they've put the animals on Protandim. I mean, I've seen miracles happen. That's the only way I can describe it. And miracles happen with people too. So that always keeps my passionate going. And it's just like, yeah, I've got to be here on this Life Vantage journey. So I'm so thankful.
Well, it's just a blessing to have you, Faye. Sometimes things are just meant to be. And as you said, the timing, right? The timing was right. I've been waiting for 7 years to bring this home to New Zealand, to the animals. And just to see, just building a distribution, someone tells someone tells someone. It's a beautiful thing. And then we just come together to share stories. I mean, I don't know what else I'd rather be doing.
Yeah, it is so incredible because, the company launched in New Zealand in November last year, 2019. And, and it's just sort of like, it's been that voice, and to me, because I care so greatly, I share, and that is sort of my drive. When I signed up, I didn't even look at the money. I had no idea. I just felt like I needed to be attached to it, and it just took me a long time to get my head around it. And I just kept thinking, this money keeps turning up. Oh wow, how amazing is that? And I mean, when you're a giver, you don't always receive, but this time I was giving and receiving at the same time.
Beautiful. Thank you, Faye. So appreciate you.
Okay.
So my next guest is lovely Sandra. Sandra, are you there? Would you like to unmute?
I would. It might help, mightn't it?
Oh.
Well, I'm one of the folk that Faye approached and told me about Protandem and Life Vantage products. And this story is very exciting. To go back a few years though, we'll go back a long way. As a child, I was just the normal child. I had 2 brothers, so I had a pretty rugged upbringing. I climbed trees. I used shanghais. I did all those things physically, absolutely fine. As the years went by, played tennis, squash, did all those sorts of things, fine. Went nursing. That was the career of my life. That's what I wanted. I wanted to go nursing, and I did. It was the happiest time of my life at that stage. But something changed, and I got to the stage where I couldn't walk around the ward because of my legs and my feet. And I thought perhaps I'm just not doing the same physical things. So I started to play tennis because I knew I could play tennis. Couldn't play tennis. This was down at Timaru at the hospital. And so something really strange happened, but nobody could see anything. And I had all the tests. I had every test possible. And I think they concluded that it was in my head. And it was far from in my head. It was at the other end of my body. It was my legs and my feet. Anyway, I had to leave nursing. I couldn't walk around the wards at all. And so I came back and I did all sorts of things, and I've done lots of jobs and I've liked them, but I haven't loved them. And I still had the sore legs and the feet, but I still managed to do things. I learned to live my life around them. They became a part of me, like my nose, really. And it was just one of those things that I had, but nobody really knew about it. I would just plan my weeks and months and outings so that it suited me, that I didn't have to walk too far and so on. So then, going on further, I had a vein operation. I was sure that would definitely help these legs. Oh, I'm sure it would. No, it put me into the ME category. So I had chronic fatigue after that. And so there was the tiredness, there was the legs and the feet, and I'm still no better, of course. Still in my head, though, I had all the tests, everything was done for me, but there was nothing wrong with me at all. So I had to get on and live with it. It was just one of those things. Well, time went by, and I decided, because I still wanted to help people, so I opened my own business. I learned to do craniosacral therapy, and that I found helped me a little bit. It certainly helped others. So I continued to do that for years, then being introduced to yet another modality, which was the Avatar system, where I can detect what's going on in people's bodies. For example, people with chronic fatigue, I was able to discover then, through working with them, what the problems were, chemicals, radiation, whatever. It's great, this must be my calling. I thought, this is great, but I still had the sore legs and the sore feet, but people didn't really know. I did. So I get along there years later, still working with the business, 2 businesses, and along comes Faye, and she mentions this particular product, and I thought, yes, okay. I'm very sceptical, mind you, and I was very sceptical. So I thought, yes, well, I would try it. Well, it turned out I couldn't actually take the one that was suggested, but there was a new one coming out in late November, so that was the NAD. NRF2 wasn't for me at that stage, NAD. So I tried NAD later when it came in, and I can still remember, we're talking here of 4 or 5 days out from starting it, just 4 or 5 days. I felt different. I had no idea what felt different because I didn't actually start it because of my legs and feet. They were, as I said, part of my body, just like my nose. I wasn't thinking about them, but I was tired. I was always tired. But I felt different this day, and I walked around the house and I wondered what was different, and suddenly it occurred to me, my legs and feet weren't sore. And I knew that couldn't be true because not at 4 or 5 days. It doesn't happen. So that's the placebo effect, right? So didn't tell anybody, carried on. They've never been sore since. Now, okay, placebo effect in my head, I don't know, but I like it. I like it a lot. And not only has that happened, but there are so many other things, countless numbers of things that have improved for me. I'm still working on it, still in progress, but obviously with that happening to me, what did I want to do? I wanted to show others and tell others, and that's where I am today, really. I just want others to feel as well as I do. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't we? Why don't we all? That's what we're all doing, isn't it, really? But as I said, my background was, I was fine. I have no idea what happened with my legs and my feet. Nobody does. But they've gone. It's gone. I don't have it. I can now walk down the beach and not look back and think, I'd better not go any further. I might not get back. I can do all that now. I can park my car somewhere and walk to a venue. Before I would drive round and round. No, I didn't tell anyone. I just automatically did these things because subconsciously I knew what I had to do to get there. I don't do that now. I can walk any distance as long as I've got the time. So that's really me at this stage. And so I'm just still keen to show and tell others about it. And I'm loving belonging to this group because you're all doing the same thing as I am. Very exciting. So thank you for this opportunity of sharing that, Marie.
Oh, Sandra, I just love your story. So some people will shy away from us because we're network marketing. And, we have a story. We didn't start off network marketing. Dr. McCord put Protandim on the retail shelves for 5 years. Have you done network marketing before?
I have actually. Yes, I have. Yep, and I was happy with it anyway. So I guess that was easy for me. Mm-hmm. Still a little sceptical, and probably sceptical because I thought others will think, oh, network marketing, this isn't for them, as it probably wasn't. Well, it wasn't for me either in the beginning, but that's just by the by now. It doesn't even come into the scenario, not at all. to me, that's irrelevant. Helping people feel better, get back to their jobs, be able to do things. What more can you do for somebody? It's so lovely if they'll just listen and be open to learning about it. That's the problem.
Fantastic.
Now
you introduced to Liko, your friend. Would you like to introduce Liko?
Would I like to? Yes, I'd absolutely love to introduce Liko. Liko's from down south way, and I met Liko and her children through the Avatar system that I work with. And so it was a natural progression, really, to tell them about our new product with LifeVantage. And I think somebody else down south also spoke to Liko about this. And so Liko, being very perceptive and intuitive, was able to pick up straight away that this was a good product. And I think Liko will probably tell you her story from now on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you, Marie. It's an absolute pleasure, I guess, to tell my story. So my family and I had been working with Sandra or maybe for a year, maybe slightly less, and we'd gone through and we'd done the Avatar testing. And I guess what led me to Sandra is because I've always been proactive about our health with my family. And I've always been looking for answers of how we can be healthy, how we can help ourselves, and not just to be healthy, but actually to me, I'm always striving for that optimal, always striving to, I know how to live, that we've all, got that potential to live our best lives. And so I've always sort of been searching for that. And so anyway, we had a few issues as the family, and so we started working with Sandra. Initially, it was just with the boys and I, or the boys. We got the boys tested, and they started on the drops, and I noticed a huge difference with that. But then in December, my husband we all went down with sort of a viral flu, and my husband, he'd been working really hard, and his had gone into his chest, and he developed pneumonia. And we were sort of he developed pneumonia, he was on the antibiotic route, he was bedbound, he was not in a great space, and we'd all got it, and I was sort of like, it's December, we're at the end of the year, we're exhausted, we must be, deficient in something or just run down. And so I said to Sandra, I sent Sandra this massive list of vitamins and supplements that I asked her, is it worth trying? What does my family need to build ourselves up? And I was looking at this list because there was probably 10 or 12 things on there, and I was thinking, I don't know how on earth my family would afford this, but it's our health. I will find the money if it means that it will help us. And so anyway, Sandra came back and she said maybe one or two, but she said, have you heard about Protandim? And I was like, no, never heard of that. So she said, would you like to go and Google it and see if it's something that you guys would like to try? And so I guess I was curious, skeptical, because I was like, another thing, really? but we were desperate. We were kind of looking for something, at that moment in our lives. And so I asked Sandra some more about it, and then I thought, well, I trust Sandra. We've had amazing results with her, and I trust her, and I don't know a lot about it, but I'm willing to take the chance based on her recommendations. And so that's what we did. We started on Protandim. I did say to Sandra, because we did have some multivitamins that were due to be coming, and I did say to her, look, these are coming from my husband, they're about the same price, can I not get those and just get Protandim? Would that work? And she said, yeah, it would work. And so that was kind of where we sort of found the money, by not buying something and then buying Protandim. And then that's sort of, how our story started, really. The boys all started on NERV2, and I started on NAD. And fairly quickly, our lives changed. For me personally, it was probably a bit like Sandra, I didn't actually realise what I was living with until I started on Protandim. And one of those things was I felt like I had this shadow, like I felt like I had this really heavy weight on me. And I wouldn't say, I've got depression in my family, but I wouldn't have said that I was depressed, but I certainly was happy within my own space. And some days I didn't even want to go out of the house because actually coordinating what I had to do to get out of the house was like, my mind was just so busy, and so I couldn't, you know, it almost seemed like in the too hard basket. And then sort of probably about maybe a month on Protandim, maybe less, I can't really remember now, but I actually remember this massive weight sort of being lifted off my shoulders. And it might sound crazy, but I remember looking behind me and thinking, where's that thing gone? You know, like I actually thought I don't have that weight on me anymore. I don't have that black shadow that I felt like I had. And that now all of a sudden I'm moving through life like it's easier. I can actually get on with my tasks. You know, I can hang out the washing without my mind going like this. You know, the mind chatter had gone. The brain fog had sort of lifted. And that that was sort of the initial start. And then as time went on and as we kept on taking it, then it was sort of the aches and pains, they all sort of eased. I had a back injury a couple of years ago, and I've always managed that. But yeah, now that's sort of, you know, it's hardly there. You know, the only time I feel it again is if I've had a big day in the garden or something, and then my recovery is huge. One thing that Protandim has given me is probably just that clarity of being able to speak my voice as well, like being able to just be really clear in my thoughts and then actually being able to portray that to my family and, you know, to other people around me. It's sort of, and sometimes sometimes I think, is that coming out of my mouth? Because it doesn't, you know, like it didn't come naturally. You know, it was always there. It was always in my head, but I could never. Sometimes I couldn't always convey it. And so that's really cool. My family, my 12-year-old, he's on it. He's just about to go into puberty, and he had a whole host of allergies. We had discovered that he had celiac, so he wasn't able to tolerate, you know, a whole lot of food and stuff like that. Since starting on Protandim, it's just, he was also very prone to seeing the negative in life. You know, he could always his glass was half empty, I would say, was how I describe him. And now he's absolutely thriving. His glass is half full. He's, you know, he's gone to a new school this year. He's making friends. He's happy. He's almost going to be a teenager next month, which I'm really worried about. But he, you know, he's able to, once again, he's able to express himself. He's able to express those emotions, you know. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad, you know, like not bad, but sometimes it's that, you know, those, I guess, you know, sad emotions or angry emotions or whatever, but he's able to express them to us. He's not hiding them. He's not, you know, burying them internally like he used to. With food-wise, obviously he's still got, you know, restrictions on him in terms of gluten and dairy, but he's got a lot more food freedom, I would say. Like he doesn't go down like a bag of potatoes like he used to, you know. He's able to, and same with my other son, Logan, we had other things going on with him. And then my husband, he has noticed, you know, a big difference. He's probably, people say to him, what's changed, you know, what's it done for you? And he'll kind of go, I don't really know, but he says, I don't want to stop taking it. So, you know, I think, but for me, I can see, you know, better sleep. He's sleeping better. He's got more energy. He doesn't have the 3 o'clock crashes like he used to. You know, he's able to push through. He's a lot more motivated, and he's just recently started on NAD, and that's kind of, you know, that's taking him to another level as well, which is so exciting. So that's sort of our family. And I guess I have always been somebody who, when we've done something and we've felt the change, or we've felt, you know, we enjoyed positive benefits of it, I've always wanted to share it with my friends. I've always wanted to talk to other people, and I've always wanted to bring them along for the ride. You know, I've always wanted to bring them in and try and help them, because especially when others are experiencing similar, or, you know, experiencing other things going on. And so I've always been keen to share. I've always, talked to friends about it. And so I guess Protandim's no different. And that's what I love about it, is being able to share it with friends and then see their excitement. And just like Sandra said, you know, we actually want the whole world to feel like we're feeling, you know, like all the things that we put up with, that we don't have to put up with anymore. And So we actually want other people to, to experience that. And so that sort of, led me to obviously talking to Nick and, and my friend Helen, and, I've got other people coming on board, but Nick was probably my number one person that, took that leap of faith right at the beginning and just sort of came on board, and she trusted and, didn't know what on earth I was, what was in front of her. And it's just, it's so exciting. I guess it's almost like childbirth. You can't actually describe it to somebody. You can't describe what it's going to be like when the baby comes, but the other side is just, there's a whole other world opening up for you, and Protandem's a bit like that. You introduce it to people, but actually the potential of it and what happens after is huge. And if people are willing to kind of take that, first step, or, take that first leap of faith, then, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I think, now that I'm learning more, I'm learning about the science behind it. And, I just wake up. I wake up each morning. I wake up thinking about who I can help. I wake up and I start doing a wee happy dance, because I think, not only have I got a product that can help people and animals, but it's also a business opportunity. So a lot of my friends out there, if they want it and if they want to run with it, then, then that's there too. That's, I guess, my story.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Lika, we're so glad you're on our team and just out there caring and sharing. Like you said, the whole world will find out. Like say Avon, Amway, they're a household name. When you're looking for an opportunity, you want to be first, and especially in New Zealand, you are first, and your friends don't know about you or know about this. Someone will tell them sooner or later. So that's where we want to be first and share. So Nick, what about you, hun? Why don't you come on and tell us a little bit about you? That'll be awesome.
Thanks, Marie. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of backstory too with our story, because I think our experience with Protandem at the moment is really new, and I think our full story is only just starting to emerge. So I'm just going to go back a wee bit to when my second daughter was born, actually. And so I was very of the mainstream medical, mainstream food, everything was fine. And then, as what sometimes happens, our children turn things up for us. And anyway, so after my daughter was born, what I would now categorise as she had and still has extreme sensitivity to chemicals in any form. So food, household, additives, preservatives, colours. We obviously didn't come to this realisation overnight. This took some time, and she got quite unwell in that time. So for the first couple of years of her life was quite tough, and she was getting progressively worse. And we went to a number of specialists, heaps specialists, and we weren't getting anywhere. She was getting sicker, and so hence then we moved into starting to realise what was hurting her, and with lots of help from lots of lovely friends like Lico and helping us along the way, we worked out that we needed to get really back to basics. So we started really focusing on her gut health and everything that was going into her body, and we changed everything we did, and we cleared the house out of every chemical. So we have very much a safe zone at home. So we've gone from the point of her potentially, if I go back 4 or 5 years ago, if she ate the wrong food, she would be unwell for a week. Massive rashes and hives and scratching and ripping at herself and things, and pretty awful to watch. And so it got to the point where we worked out food could hurt her, but food could also heal her. So we worked out things that we could give her that would shorten that span of her reactions from a week to a day. And so basically I was studying nutrition as much as I could in terms of the trial and error. And I think without even knowing it, I was starting to biohack, and I just didn't know that was a thing. And so this evolved over time, and so hence she actually wasn't the reason that I jumped on to try Protandim, but it gives you a little bit of backstory of how important nutrition is in our day-to-day life. So she's very well, but we walk a fine line with her health. And we also, my husband and I both use nutrition to get the most out of our exercise and things. And my husband's likes to do mountain ultras runs and things, and so he uses nutrition to get the most out of that, and that sort of thing. So when Liko said to me about having a natural product, I knew straight away that she's telling me it's a natural product, that I didn't even need to look at the ingredients and things, that it was going to be all good. And Liko also knew that I was battling away with a hip tendinopathy. So I had decided that in my 40th year, I was going to run an ultra marathon. So I had been training for that, and Liko knew that I was battling with that. So when she was telling me about the products, she said, look, it might help with your tendinopathy. So I gave it a go. And I think, was it maybe a week and 7 to 10 days in, I rang Liko and I said, it's my day-to-day hip pain was down 90% and my exercise hip pain was probably 70%. And so it was at that point when I started feeling those effects quite quickly, that I really wanted to know heaps more. And it was at that point that I started asking questions, and there were many lengthy phone calls with Liko and talking about it and finding out about it, and then just scratching the surface with the information available. And I just started realizing how powerful this could be, and it could be such a game changer for our family. And and so from there I was getting good results, and so I actually have a almost 14-year-old dog, and so I gave some to him as well. And I now feel quite bad that he spent the last year or two of his life sleeping his days away, because he's got his energy back. He had a scar on his eye that was fogged over from where he had a tumour removed on his eyelid about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's been permanently foggy since then. I can still see the little ridge of scarring, but the fogginess is gone. And that happened within a couple of weeks. My daughter's been on it for a month now. So like I say, I think we're just at the start of our story here. And so we're only ever so slightly letting a few things come back in, but she has not complained of a sore stomach in the last month. And that was a pretty regular occurrence before that. And I was starting to get at my wits' end, because we work really hard on our health and taking care of ourselves at home. So I'm pretty excited about what the future can hold. And actually just only in the last couple of days, my cat had a lump on his spine that had come up over a couple of days, and I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe something fell on him in the wood shed or something, I don't know. Could have been a hematoma, but over 3 or 4 days that has disappeared with him having a wee tiny bit of a capsule a day. So that's our story for now.
That's just incredible. You must be so thankful to Liko. So thankful, life-changing, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, ladies, let's pop over to Australia, shall we? Thank you very much. Suze, you're over there in Australia.
Yes, good morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I was busy cleaning. I didn't realise the time.
That's all right. Quite often I hear when ladies get started, they get energy and they say, I can't believe I've just cleaned my whole house today. It hasn't been cleaned in so long.
I know. Well, I just woke up this morning and it was like, I just sort of sat straight up in bed, bolt up. All right, I've got to get going. I've got to get moving and clean this house. And that probably 6 months ago was not me. I'd be happily lazing in there and till all better get up. My story started. My sister was the one who had got me involved. She sort of mentioned she had a very terrible knee and she's only 48, 47 at the time, and she was basically looking down an operation, having a knee replacement at 47, which is pretty scary. And she basically got to the point where she couldn't walk. She was using a mobility aid, couldn't get in and out of her car properly, and had gone through ACC in New Zealand, and they basically told her, no, it's degenerative and it's a recurring injury, sports injury, and that they wouldn't help. So she didn't have private health, and had to look at footing a $25,000 bill, which was pretty scary and sad. So she'd looked at going overseas and doing all sorts because she didn't feel that she had a choice. She was friends with, through her interior design business, with one of our, I'm not sure if is Jen on today?
No, she's not.
Yeah, with Jennifer, who's one of our great leaders, and she'd seen Jen posting about this pro tandem and was like, oh yeah, whatever. Nothing resonated with her, and it wasn't until Jen posted about her husband Lindsay, who had the same issue, and how amazing he was going, and she was like, oh, maybe this is something that could help me. So ended up chatting to Jen about it, and thought, right, I've got to give this a go. So Karen's highly sensitive, and very, very open, and very spiritual, I guess you would say. And she, within 24 hours, had tingling in her leg, all sorts of things happening. And she was like, wow, this is pretty crazy. Within a few weeks, she had so much improvement. She's been on it, I think, since November last year now, so it'll be, 7-8 months. Walking again now, no mobility aids. After 6 weeks, she climbed Mount Taranaki. No, sorry, Mount Maunganui. Sorry, not Taranaki, Maunganui. And, she couldn't even get in her car, so just unreal. And at that point, she was, because I've been over here in Australia, never saw and never realised really how bad she was. So never sort of got the impact of what that was doing for her. And I went home with my mum's 70th in March, and she said to me, you need to get on this. Yeah, I'm giving you a bottle and you need to start taking this because this is going to do amazing things for you. And I was like, oh, you're radio. So I started it when I was there. I think I took it for, I don't know, probably a week. And then come home, I was like, yeah, I should carry this on, and then just never did. I'm not very good at taking medicine. And then just sort of fell to the side and didn't continue. And then it wasn't until March this year when, with the old COVID happenings and my job, I'm a travel agent, so that just all turned heads upside down. And of course my income disappeared and was not sure if I'd have a job. And I was like, this really made me resonate with me. I need something that's going to create income for myself. I love being in my industry, but I can't. We always have things that affect us, 9/11 stars and all these other things, and it always affects us as frontline salespeople. And I was like, I need something that's going to prop this up so that I, don't have a loss of income and then we start to struggle again. So then I was thinking, right. I was talking to Karen about it, and she's like, you need to get onto this. She goes, not only do you need to take it, this will be great for you. You'll be so good at it. And so away I went. And so started taking it first. I'm a bit of a skeptic. I was like, oh, well, yeah, give it a go. See what happens. Health-wise for me, I had terrible brain fog, suffered with anxiety for 23 years, I think now. Had that for a long time. I had depression when that's sort of what started me back in the day, and then just ended up with continuing anxiety, brain fog, really lethargy, I guess, no motivation, can't concentrate at work. I'm open 10 boxes and close one. And so I so I started on it, and within a week, my brain fog was gone. I was getting to the point that I couldn't, when I'd get out of bed, like I would just ache. My body was aching, and I was just thinking, I'm getting old, and I'm 45, so it shouldn't really be happening. Haven't been very good on my, health-wise for myself. Always think about dieting, and I need to diet and lose weight, and that'll get rid of it, and all of that sort of thing, but didn't have the capacity to be able to do that, and I've always found that very difficult, and I do think that that's a side effect of my medication that I've been on. Reading about it all now, and so after a week, all my brain fog was gone, and I was like, wow, just clear. Then I start to get anxiety about that, because I'm like, what's going on? Something's about to happen, which is a very big anxiety thing. You're always thinking something's going to happen, and then I'm like, well, nothing's happening. I'm not anxious. It's just clear. Which was just amazing for me to feel like you've got your eyes back and you can see, which is awesome. So then I joined the business and then started to share it, and Mel, who will come on shortly, I met Mel through my travel agency job, and shared it with her. So she's got an amazing story to tell, and just noticing more and more for myself, really. No aches when I jumped out of bed this morning at 8 o'clock and up and going, and nothing's hurting. What else? I forget what's really happened. I had a bone growth. That was really funny. I've had, the doctor told me, that's just part of aging. You get these little bone growths. I've got one on my thumb and had one on my foot. And then woke up one day and said to Glenn, that thing's gone. And this was probably about 2 or 3 weeks after taking protein. And I was like, is it gone? And so that one's gone. The one on my thumb is reducing. The pain of that's going. I've got 3 age spots on my legs, and they're going. It's just getting better and better. So I've started coming off my medication as well. I was a bit naughty. I tried it cold turkey the other week, and I'm not supposed to do that, but I just wanted to see, and I can tell that I'm not far away, which is awesome, because I've lost memory through that, of different things. I can't recall things from a few years ago, so yes, I'm looking forward to all that coming back, which I know it will, and so it's very exciting, and it's just wonderful being part of the thing I love the best about this whole thing is just the great team that we have, and the great camaraderie, and we don't know all these people from around the world, from Bar Soap, we've never met, but you feel like you're all best friends, and it's just so lovely. I can't wait to actually physically be in a room with everybody. It'll just be so cool, and that's what I love about personal development and stuff like that as well. It's been tremendous.
Oh, you're great. We're so glad that you showed up, Sue. And you bring up a good point. When we start people off, we should get them to write down, scan their body for different bumps and things like that, because things disappear, and didn't I have something there? I don't know where it's gone, but it's fantastic. Thank you, Sue.
Actually, I did one good thing too, actually. Yesterday, I noticed I put Tate in the bath. I've got a little 5-year-old boy, and his hands, he's been at daycare for the school holidays, and his hands on his palms are so, I don't even know what you'd say. They're not dry, but they just feel terrible. I know it's from all the hand sanitizer they're using. And last night he came out of the bath, he said, Mum, my hands are stinging and hurting and itchy. And I could see they were like white old man's hands. And I was like, wow. So rubbed heaps of hand cream in last night. This morning I said, how's your hands? Oh, Mum, they're not itchy. They're not hot. They're feeling amazing. That's overnight. And I can feel the difference. I can still feel it's there, but I can feel the difference in those little hands, and I think, God, these poor children having this chemical stuff thrown in, in their faces, and we've got something that can help them, which is awesome.
That's beautiful, Sue. Just beautiful. I love that hand cream too. And people getting results on all kinds of stuff. Never even thought. So thank you for showing up and being here. We just love you guys. And we're going to introduce now Mel. And as Sue said, she shared with Mel. Are you there, Mel?
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Mel, just tell us about your life before and after.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Last year, so it would have been about May last year, probably towards the end of May, my son, I have a son he's 21 now, but he's autistic. And suddenly his health just took a really bizarre turn, and he's always been such a happy boy. Stanley's he's partially non-verbal, I would say, and last May he started having these like outbursts. They're like a state of psychosis, like catatonic outbursts. And I didn't know what that was then, but of course, it was horrible to see. It got to the point where he ended up in the hospital. We were in the hospital for a week just trying to find the answers. And anyway, the psychiatrist had put him on, some heavy medication. And, that's fine. I just want my son to be better. I want my son to be happy. And as we went along, it stopped for a while because we were playing around with the dosages, and then it started again. And I just didn't know what was going on in my son's world, but I do know that when the psychiatrist wanted to look at reducing them and for a clean slate, because in his mind he felt that, well, I never put him on these meds. I need to know what actually is really going on with your son, and for me to be able to do that, I have to take the medication away, and I was very like, no, it was like, you can't do that, because it was our Band-Aid, and I don't care. I'll continue that Band-Aid because I just wanted him to be better. Anyway, so as we got along, I could see the medication wasn't really working anymore, and I knew it was at a stage where the doses would have to go higher. But I remembered what the psychiatrist said. So when we came back from New Zealand, I had to look at doing this. And when I did, all that kind of stopped. And that was great. But what was replaced was this horrible, he's always had anxiety, but this anxiety was like tenfold. And, to see your son so sad, and the behaviour he was doing, his behaviour was really odd. He was wanting to put plugs in his mouth, and that would be something I'd look at when he was 3, not at 21. And he was angry, he was frustrated, and it was like living with a time bomb, like the pots just nearly getting to boiling point, but and you're not too sure which way it would go. And, he would lie in bed and just say that he didn't, that he just didn't want to, he wanted to die. And this is my son who's autistic. He has no idea about suicide or any of that horrible stuff. And you could see he just didn't want to be here. And I was beside myself. And, I did remember my friend Sue's saying to me at Christmas time about this product. I didn't really take any notice because when you have something like that going, that's all you can see. And because I had such high anxiety myself, my health was not great at all. And I've heard a couple of people say, maybe that was because of age, and so you just accept it. I've got a lot of extra weight on me, and that's just part of it. But I think that when you've got something else going on with a family member, in my case, my child, I didn't have time to think about me. It just consumed me, this, because it was in such a bad way for both of us. And Sue's mentioned to me again, so this was probably about end of March, April, about this Protandim, and I was just like, I was so desperate, I didn't even look it up, I didn't care. I think I tell people as a joke, if someone told me to run outside under a full moon, starkers, I would have done that too. because all I wanted was my son to be better. And so I started him on this, and I'm a bit skeptical. I heard Sandra say that, I'm thinking, I'm like that too. Well, I'm very spiritual. I am like that. And but it was so it would have been 2 days, and I was due to have this conference call with Jen, Suze, and Sonia, and I remember saying to them, "Oh, he's come home tonight." So I started on half a tablet. This is 2 days. That would have been 3 days, sorry. And he came home and he started playing this music. And because I had this horrible fear, I'm thinking, oh my God, you know what, Mel, get over it. You had a weekend to yourself. You just got to go push through this. But when he came in the house and he just had a big smile on his face and he started playing music, I thought, oh, yeah, okay, we'll see. And I won't get too excited about it. But I spoke to the ladies and I told them that. And but each day it just continued to get better and better. And my son is very into his technology. That's his whole world. And, we're still having a few issues with that. With the psychologist, we're reducing that because the frustration that comes from that. But I'll tell you something now, to see my son continue to be happy, his energy, he suddenly now wants to go see what's out in the rest of the world. He wants to go on a bike. He's been doing all this, riding this bike with support workers, going for all these nature walks, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have seen such huge differences in him. His diet was very, very poor. It's still not where I want it to be, but it's to me, it's probably gone from about say 20 to maybe 65% difference in how he's eating now. So life's changed big time, and then because of this, I remember saying to Suze, I can't afford this. I just haven't got the money for this. And Sue's saying to me, well, here, just try. Here, here, Merry Christmas. Here's your Christmas present. And so I tried it, and I heard her say about Karen, that tingling, and I kid you not, I think it was about maybe 2 days, maybe, I felt this tingling in the back of my heels because I had so many health issues. I had health issues that I think that I wasn't meant to have for another 20 years because I wasn't taking care of myself at all. And my heels were tingling, and I tell you, I thought, I Googled, because I thought, right, I've got diabetes, that I self-diagnosed myself. 2 days later, all that heel pain that I had, because I had really bad bursitis, I had plantar fasciitis in my feet, and that pain just went away. I jumped, and I'm thinking, I don't even know if I got to the 2-week mark. I jumped out of bed, my energy, my anxiety. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't even be able to have this conversation with you ladies. And I know there's people on here that I've never met before. Normally that would make me so anxious, and because I would stutter, and I'd go with my anxiety. I'd get very hyper, and then the brain fog. I think that was the worst, the brain fog. And I was actually seriously thinking, I think I need to go. I think I really need to see the doctor and go on antidepressants or an anti-anxiety medication. But when I started this stuff, my mind just became so much clearer. I had, I suffered with psoriasis for 18 years, and I had it behind my ears and in my scalp, and the worst place I had it was in my nails and in my toenails. And when you have psoriasis in your nails, the nerves, it's just, if you bump your fingers, it's just the nerves, it's the most horrible pain. And the whites of your nails grow right down to the base, and they lift off. And I just accepted this. I tried different diets, high protein, and I did find that made a bit of a difference, but it never took it away. I look at my nails now, and I'm sorry, I have got gel polish on. I don't know if you can see, ladies, but the whiteness would go right to the base of my nails, and there's no whiteness there. And I can put pressure on my nails, and I don't feel that pain. I decided to make a list the other day. My list is actually huge on what I feel, because I'm such a sensitive person. And I decided to sit down and thought, I'm just going to write down how I'm feeling now, and then I thought, oh my gosh, there is actually a lot more than I realised that this Protandim has actually done for me. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I have to stop myself when I'm sharing to people because I have to stop myself a bit because I just sound like, I feel like, oh God, now you sound like one of those evangelistic people in the church, hallelujah. But I feel like it's a miracle for me because seriously, I just thought, this is age. This is because I'm overweight. And don't get me wrong, I still need to work on my weight, but I'll tell you one other thing that stopped is that emotional eating. Oh, I was a huge emotional eater. And to the point that I remember after a few weeks being on this, sitting down in front of the TV at night, Stanley's in bed. Wait a minute, I usually eat something now. You just get the the good old New Zealand chippies out and get some chocky out, and and I was almost like I was really peed off that I didn't feel like doing that. I was like, but that's what I do. But it's like, but I don't feel like it, So I'm noticing with my eating, I am eating better. Sometimes I'm still not making great choices, but when I am eating, I'm eating because I actually I'm hungry. I noticed that, and I don't know if this is a good thing or what. People talk about intermittent fasting, and it does work for a lot of people. But I get to about 11 o'clock, and I think, geez, I forgot to eat. I wasn't actually really hungry, and I will because you've got to eat. But it's just my whole, just the way I think now. And back to that anxiety, it's the confidence that's come above for me, and that has made me make huge changes in my life because I tell you, I get so comfortable. I lived in the last place that I was in for 14 years, and I was in a great job for 14 years, but there were things that weren't making me happy. I wasn't feeling fulfilled anymore, and so I made these changes to move here. But when that whole COVID thing happened too, because of that list of anxiety, I had that ability to kind of sit down and think, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do childcare anymore. There's components about it that I still love, but overall, it's not for me. And I thought, because Suze had mentioned about being a distributor, I thought, yeah, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. And I think that I'm loving it because that's something I could never do in my life. There's no way. Oh my God, network marketing, I don't have the confidence. There's no way I could do that. But I think what worked for me was that because of how I was feeling, because I could see the success in myself and in my son, oh my gosh, it was something I believed in, and I was sharing it, and I remember someone saying to me, I don't know if it was you, Marie, or maybe it was you and Jen and you, Suze, maybe it was all of you all say, you got to share it from your heart. This is about your heart, not what's coming from your head. This is not hard selling, we're not interested. You're hard selling, you're not the right team, And I feel that because that's the way I approached it, because I do care. I'm such a talker. I've talked the taxi driver into starting this in 5 minutes because all I wanted to hear about was why he had to give up being a chef because of his health. For 1 second, I didn't think what I was going. Oh yeah, I'll make some money from this. I didn't think that. I just thought, oh my God, I feel like this, so I want you, and you over there. I have never met you before, but I want you on this too. Because I can tell I'm walking down the street and you're limping. I know it's crazy, isn't it? But that's the confidence it's given me, and you know what? But if I was to look at the money side of things as a distributor, talk about icing on the cake. If I'm just being myself, and this is what I'm doing, then it doesn't even feel like I've got a job, to be honest. I don't feel like I've got a job. I've got all this life balance, and the icing on the cake is like, oh my gosh, that's what I did look, I made this money at the end of the month. Wasn't expecting that. But yeah, sorry, I'll stop now. But yeah, that's really in reality how it's been for both of us. Yeah. But I just hope it continues to get better. I believe it will.
Your story is absolutely life-changing, and to think all this has happened, your health, you've left your job, you've got a new business. I mean, what, in a couple months? So
yeah, I forgot to say that.
Yeah, and if we had have told you that up front, Suze, this is what's going to happen, right? You would have thought we were crazy.
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's right.
So it's just taking that leap of faith, being surrounded with great people on your journey. We're all here to help each other. And like, there might be people on this call who I haven't met, who Sue's, Faye. You know what? If you have a question, ask your friend who invited you here to get in contact, right? Maybe you have some more questions, things like that. But that's what we do. We all help each other. And oh my God, what a way to wrap up this call with Mel. I mean, just once makes us want to go shout it to the world, right?
Yep, it does. Marie, sorry, I forgot to mention with my son, because I said he was partially verbal, his communication, the improvement in the way he talks now to me and the conversations that we have together is, I really feel, I've always kind of felt we're connected, but we're really connected now. And when I hear my son able to reason, understand what I'm saying and be able to contribute, like negotiate, all those skills, as a mum, that's more important than any health success that I've told you about myself, because I would still be in that place. I don't have to be Dexter Protantum to have got that from my son. So I feel like it was like my son, he would say, he would call it a double whammy. So it's like a double whammy. So thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And didn't you say that he brought out the radio the other night and he hadn't turned it on in years or something?
Yeah, I sent this video to Marie late at night. I heard this crackling sound. I actually thought someone was in the driveway with their radio on, but it was I bought this retro radio for my son for Stanley, 9 years ago. And it's, it looks good in his room. He's never touched it, but he does love music. But next thing I walked into his room and he turned it on, tuned it in, and he's sitting on his bed and he's like flapping away when he does that, when he's happy, and he's dancing in his bed. I just had to send that to Marie, and I sent it to Suze as well, yeah. And it just filled my heart, because I'm like, wow, that's not something I see, yeah.
Wonderful. Just know you're very early, right? The way all this nutrigenomics and flipping genes, it has a compounding effect. So it's only going to get better.
I can't wait.
Seeing what you've done already. That's amazing. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll let you know when we do the next one. Appreciate you all.
Thanks,
Okay.
Marie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.